anybody out there who got divorced and like regrets it, especially women 35, 40, 45, please tap in and let me know, because at this point I am like probably not 99, maybe 89% sure that I'm probably going to be divorced within the next year. So I can't stay with this. I can't be with you. I can't. And I feel like I've tried so hard. So I've been married for 3 years. People always ask me. And it's really gotten to the point where it's like the past like probably 2 months have.
All right, so there's a little bit of text there I want to read real quick. This chick just pretty much admitted that there's a 99% chance that she's going to be divorced. This doesn't sound like her husband is going to leave her. It sounds like she is getting close to wanting to initiate that divorce. Who is she asking for advice from? She goes to TikTok. The place where you will probably get the worst advice in general when it comes to a broad range of topics, unless if, of course, it's my content, because we serve coffee. So she's asking for advice from the internet about, will she regret this decision? This is crazy. Her caption here reads, I'm also super unhappy at work, trying to grow a business, and we're navigating parenting drama. Let's keep listening.
Have just been the worst, to where it's like, oh, maybe we just call it. Maybe we just call a spade a spade. But then I'm like, I remember when my parents got divorced, and I do not want to put, like my son through that. But also, doing it for the kids is not enough. Love is not enough. Getting married, I kind of regret getting married for love, because I damn sure didn't get married for money. But I'm also just like, as a Christian, shouldn't get divorced. Like.
Wait. You're a Christian as well?
Whatever it is, we can work it out. It's you and me against the world. But it's like, damn, do I want to be miserable? How long do I want to be miserable for?
Okay, another caption there. Just want to make sure we're getting all the context here. It says, and no, y'all love to, may this love never find me to death, but I do think there's something to be admired about a love that endures, she says.
And the thing that I also hate is like I feel like people don't share this part of marriage. Like when people are in the thick of it, because I was watching this interview with like DeVal and Kadeen, and I think he said the first 3 to 5 years of their marriage was like hell, but they stuck it out, and now they've been married for what, like 10, 15 years, and they, seem to be happy. I don't know, but it's like.
You see, this is the same problem you see repeatedly with a lot of chicks who are on the brink of destroying and annihilating their families. Is it comes down to, I'm not happy. Now, when someone identifies as Christian, I have a different approach and perspective, whether it's a guy, because as myself, a man who identifies as Christian, I believe in God, you're called to a different set of standards. Life is not about happiness, especially if you're a Christian, unless if you're believing in some false prosperity gospel that preaches that your life will be filled with no troubles, which goes directly against scripture, but it's not, right? The Bible says in this life, you shall have trials. You will go through things. Jesus says, the world hated me and they will hate you too. Now, Chisha, are you saying that there's no such thing as a happy marriage that's Christian? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you have to judge your marriage differently, whether you're Christian or not. Most married people understand that, yes, love is not enough. Love is a feeling. Happiness is not enough. Happiness is a feeling. She says you can't stay for the kids. Of course you can stay for the kids. Of course you can stay for the kids. Picture this. Too many people bring children into this world. Life's not easy. Life has trials. You bring them into this world and you abandon them. When I say you abandon them, you break up their biggest chance at having a successful future. Having a mother, having a father. These kids did not ask to be here. Life is challenging, right? It's hard enough. And I think there's a sense, there's selfishness in looking at children and thinking, well, I'm not going to work through this for the kids, or at least until they're grown. Oh, but what if she's getting beat up and punched in the face? Like, chill, relax. Of course, we're not talking about that, right? And we're not talking about what if he was getting hands put on him either, of course. But none of that was mentioned here. This chick is here talking about happiness, and she's identifying as Christian. That's not the standard at which you judge your life and your future on, and it doesn't sound like she's 100% sold on that. But I definitely think of children, man. None of us asked to be here. You just show up on this earth. Next thing you know, you show up, you land in a beef. You land in a squabble. Really think about that. Here you are enjoying yourself in non-existent world, and you pop up in the middle of two people who are fighting. Like what? It's unfair, man. You're like, hey, what's going on? Hey, oh. Traumatized. Let's read a few of these comments, see what the people have to say. Top comment here says, wondering if you were happy single. Again, if you ask most women today, modern women, they actually believe and they chase happiness. They actually believe that there is sustainable happiness and they go on the search to chase it and find this thing that they never find. That they never find. Somebody else here says, hold on, my cousin divorced his wife. Thank God. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. It looks like this is a man who divorced. We couldn't stand her. After a month, people make mistakes. After a month. If you're getting divorced after a month, then there's some big vetting issues if you're getting divorced after a month. Goes on to say, correct the mistake and move on. You probably knew y'all shouldn't have got married. Here's somebody else that says, if there isn't cheating or any abuse, I would say try therapy. Therapy in most cases doesn't work. I'm sorry. And I'm not saying that therapy is bad, right? I've gone to therapy. We did marital therapy. Therapy is helpful. But as a solution, when your mindset and how you're viewing marriage is messed up, as a solution to save your marriage when your definition and perspectives on and expectations within that marriage are wrong, therapy isn't really going to do much. The biggest problem I think with most people, and especially the people that divorce like within a couple of years, I see is you end up realizing that they never really spoke on certain issues. For example, this married couple here that divorced after a month, chances are it was something really petty. Expectations that were had and never spoken about. I usually divide that from like foundational values. Foundational values are how you define your marriage, right? What's the role of a man? What's the role of a woman within a marriage? You got to know. You can't just be getting into a marriage and somebody's expecting you to be a partner when you're looking for a helpmate as a man. Or maybe you're expecting more partner as a man and she's like, hey, I need you to be in charge. People need to agree on how they define what a marriage is because we live in a time where that's all messed up. It's all over the place. And then you have personal values, right? So there's foundational values, personal values. Those personal values are little things like if you're somebody who's completely disgusted by, let's say, meat and you're a vegan, of course, you want somebody who um, is most likely not going to eat meat, or you want a woman, you don't care what it is, but you want a woman who cooks, right? Personal things. I don't want to live in a big city. I want to live over here. You have to talk about this stuff because this ends up being the petty stuff that ends up making or breaking individuals. So we got a chick here that says, I don't regret it. I look back and wish I would have ended things before we even got married. So she's like, hey, go ahead and do that. Divorce, break up your family. Somebody else here says, I've never heard of a woman getting divorced and regretting it. Really? And the actual content creator, the chick who, this is the wife, responded back here and says, she says, me either, but I'm trying to find some, has everyone spoken up? Okay. And this is where, like, I get a bit annoyed here because let's take the whole social media entertainment factor out of this. This is a man who has his thoughts about the situation. And if you're watching this, you can come on the coffee pod and maybe we can talk. You can give your side to the story, but you never hear. And this is an invitation. You're welcome. And I plan to do more of that because you never hear the man's side of the story when it comes to divorce. And I bet you will scare these chicks. And you know what? On second thought, and I'm really realizing this right now, it's probably best that they both don't talk about this on platforms and online. This is what I would initially encourage. But at the end of the day, they are adults. And I think there's something to be said here about her coming to the internet and seeking advice and shaming her husband. How is she shaming? Well, Chisha, what do you mean shaming him? What do you mean? Well, you don't get to control who sees your TikTok once you post it. Family members have seen it. Now you're on the coffee pot. Congratulations. Somebody else who said the beginning is hard, filed at 2 years, realized how much we truly balanced and loved each other. Started counseling, got heavy into prayer, about to celebrate 4 years. Congratulations. So happy we didn't give up. Try everything and remember it's the both of you against your problems. This is great advice. This is great advice. I encourage that. Fight for your family. Prayer is huge, especially if you're somebody who identifies as Christian. Prayer is huge. Prayer is more powerful than any therapy. If you know, you know. All right, next comment says, yes, I regret my divorce. Whoa. Okay, so I'm actually sort of surprised, if I'm going to be honest with you. Hold on, let me finish reading this. This might be one of those, yes, I regret my divorce. I regret it didn't happen sooner. So let's keep reading. Yes, I regret my divorce. If you're able to work it out, please do so. Okay. The frustration of not knowing how to fix it will make you think divorce is the answer. Wow. Wow. This is really, and shout out to this woman right here, right? Shout out to her because you don't see a lot of this type of accountability that's shared. I'm not saying it's rare for women to regret the divorce. In most cases, what I see is that many women end up regretting their divorce. Shisha, why are you focused on women? Mostly because women file for divorce at a 70 to 80% rate. Right? That's why we're doing that. So the chick in this video pretty much saying, hey, are there any women out there who regret their divorce? I'm like, yeah, keep searching. It's all over the place. Somebody else here says, I don't regret the divorce, but I miss the familiarity and compatibility we had because the dating pool is horrendous. I can imagine. You are stepping into a hellhole of trauma, whether you are a man or a woman and you're leaving a marriage. Right? This is a woman who you decided to marry because people will say, well, bro, she's tort. You married her. You married him. When you leave that person, and I'm talking about there's no real true problems that can't be worked through, you are coming into hell. We laugh at it all day over here, right? We see the women and the men going through it, the unrealistic expectations, which is why a lot of people are just opting out and saying, hey, I just want to be single. Another comment here says, yes, we reunited after 5 years apart. This is 30 years in. Wow. More and more actual honest comments. I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked. I was not expecting to see this type of a response to her actual, whoa, this is crazy, guys. Like we don't see this. Check this one out. Definitely regret it. Was happy the first few years, but now totally regret it. Guys, some of you have been baristas for a while here on the channel. You've been watching this content for a few years. How often is it that we actually see this type of honesty in the comment section, bro? It doesn't happen that often. This chick here just literally said, we have a woman here who says the first few years she was celebrating. I have a video of women throwing divorce parties. If you go on Amazon, there's a whole industry of people who manufacture decorations for divorce parties where these women will go there, they'll buy shirts, talking about dump him, onto better, cakes and balloons, so on and so forth. She was celebrating her divorce for the first couple of years and then ended up regretting it. Her last line here says, it could have been reconciled. Oof.
Drink the coffee, it'll make you feel better.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. This woman here says, this is going to sound crazy, but happy is a temporary state. but you guys got to really take that in and think of how is that a crazy statement? Where did this idea come from? This lie that happiness wasn't a temporary state. What life are you guys living? And you would think people live in a life before they enter a relationship, before they enter marriage, where they're just consistently happy. Granted, relationships take work, right? You don't get into certain things assuming that the joy will be a peaceful, blissful, never-ending experience of happiness. In most cases, no matter what you do, it's the product of that thing that is the final gift. Whether you get into the gym, you're working out to improve your body, you know it's going to be hell in that gym. You know your chest is going to be hurting. You know you're going to have to go through the pain. But at the end of the day, it's the product. Same thing with relationships. Listen, I don't disagree with people when they say I'm happier without kids, I'm happier without a marriage. I actually do believe people are actually happier. But how much fulfillment and joy do you have? Joy is different from happiness. How fulfilled are you in your life is the question. The guy, temporarily, who eats whatever he wants, or the woman who eats whatever she wants, she's gaining weight, getting fatter, bigger, is having a great time. You're drinking whatever you want. You have no restrictions when it comes to your diet. You're having a great time while it lasts. Until the product of those decisions are actually manifest. Now, what I'm not saying here, guys, is everybody needs to get married. No, I'm simply just painting different pictures of why happiness may not be the ultimate goal for people who value marriages and are willing to work through them. Not everybody was made for marriage. Not everybody wants marriage or wants children, and that is okay. And yes, you can bring value to this life outside from just being married, right? All right. So we have somebody else here that says, as a child of divorced parents, I always say, do not stay for the kids. Y'all are miserable and we know it, and it makes us miserable. I was ecstatic when my parents separated. This is the woman here talking with the face paint of the animal. Somebody else, she says, don't regret mine, but I made sure I tried everything in my power first to make it better. If it comes to the point that divorce is the option you choose for your health and safety, remember, God hates divorce, not you. He wants what is best for you, including happiness. Very interesting. Now she's talking about safety. Safety. Interesting. If you asked her what did she mean, what does she mean by safety? Maybe she might say that she was in an unsafe marriage, but most likely, chances are she was saying, I was a danger to myself, which you can take with that what you want. Overall, I am really surprised at the responses here in this video to this woman, and I wish her the best, and I hope her marriage works out for the better. It sounds like they have children, and I hope they keep fighting, especially for those kids. Moving on.